Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. Today is another beginner series, and in today's video I'll be talking about 3 things you really need to know when you're starting your natural hair journey. And also one thing that is not really necessary. You don't have to know this. If you know it, it's a plus. If you don't know it, it's not gonna kill you. So let's get right into it. The 3 most important things you really need to know when you're starting your natural hair journey is your hair density, your hair porosity, and your hair width. And the other one that, if you care, you can know it. If you can figure it out, it's not going to harm you. It's your hair typing. And I'm going to go into detail of what all these 4 things are, and I'll be explaining to you how to check your hair to know which category you fall in. Today's video will be all about hair porosity, because if I explain everything, it's gonna be a long video. So I'm gonna break it down one topic in each video. Let's talk about hair porosity. What is your hair porosity? Your hair's porosity is the ability of your hair to absorb moisture. So that means how well your hair absorb moisture when you put moisture in it, and how well it retains that moisture. So there are 3 types of hair porosity. There's low porosity, medium porosity, and high porosity. If your hair has a low porosity, it means that the cuticles on the hair are really tight. There are no gaps and holes in it like that. Even there are gaps, they are really tight, and so when you're adding moisture to the hair, it doesn't really penetrate into the hair. It takes you a long time to get that moisture in. But the other thing is, once that moisture gets in, it takes a long time to get out. So for low porosity hair, it is easy to retain the moisture, but it is hard to get the moisture in. So let's see some of the characteristics of a low porosity hair. First, like I said, it's easy to retain moisture, but it's hard to get the moisture in. It takes a long time to dry, and it's prone to buildups. And let's also look at some of the remedies if you have low porosity hair. Because it is difficult for moisture to enter, to penetrate into the hair, you're gonna need some sort of heat when you have low porosity hair. Heat to process the product that you're putting in. Not necessarily styling product, but the other things like deep conditioner. So that means you have to deep condition with heat. This heat to open the cuticles of the hair and get that moisture in. And you're gonna need to use lightweight product instead of the more heavier product. Sometimes it can still work with heavier product. It just depends on the amount you use. You're gonna need to not layer on the product, like pack on products upon products upon product, because it's gonna cause buildup. And because the product don't really, it takes time for the product to absorb into your hair. When you keep adding product and piling on product, it's gonna stack on the cuticles of the hair, and that is gonna create buildup. And because the hair is prone to buildup, you need to clarify the scalp once in a while, maybe once a month, to get rid of the buildup. So a way to clarify that scalp is doing the apple cider rinse or the bentonite clay. I have a video on how to do bentonite clay, and I'll be sure to link it in the description here. Moisturizing a low porosity hair, you might want to use the LCO method, that is liquid, cream, and the oil. So the oil will seal that moisture that you put in. And also you may want to use humectants on your hair, like glycerin and honey. And also for low porosity hair, you might want to reduce the protein that you use on the hair. Use less protein rich products. So let's talk about medium or normal porosity. So if you have a medium or normal hair porosity, that means your hair is able to absorb and retain just the right amount of moisture. So it gets in the right amount and it gets out the right amount. So it's like your life is just perfect. but this hair doesn't have a lot of issues. It is easy to manage. It holds up styles, and your life is just great, kind of. For medium hair porosity, you might want to deep conditioner regularly, and it's a little bit easier to deal with medium hair porosity than the low and the high porosity hair. When you have high porosity hair, this is when your hair gets in the moisture and loses that moisture quickly. So it's easy to get that moisture in, but it's also easy to get out. Your main goal when you have high porosity is to be able to retain that moisture in the hair. And high porosity hair is prone to freeze and dries easily. Some of the things to consider when you're having high porosity hair is to deep conditioner on a regular basis. Is to use the LOC method when you're moisturizing. So that is you going with a liquid, an oil, and a cream. So leave in an oil and another moisturizer, because the hair loses moisture easily. It's like you put in that leave-in, which is you kind of moisturizing it, and then you add oil to seal in that moisture, to keep it in there, and then you add on another moisturizer. It is easy to layer on products because most of that product is gonna go away anyway. So when you layer on the product, it's gonna help that when some is going away, there's some there. So that's what is gonna help you to retain the moisture in the hair, and it's gonna need you to moisturize your hair more often if you have high porosity hair. So let's find out whether your hair has low, high, or medium porosity. And this is how. There are 3 ways to find out. You can either do the strand test, or the water test, or the spritz test. So the strand test, you can literally just take a piece of your hair, let me see, like a strand of your hair, and if you run your fingertip upwards, and your hair feels really smooth, that means it has low porosity. If it feels rough, that means you have high porosity. And with the spritz test, when you spray, you take your spray bottle with water inside, and when you spray it on hair, you're gonna observe your hair whether the water is sitting on your hair. If the water is sitting on your hair, then that means your hair is low porosity. But when the water absorbs into your hair, that means you have high porosity. And the final test, which is the water test, I'm going to show you of me doing it. You're going to need a glass of water and a strand of hair. You can either take that from your comb or directly from your scalp, and put it in the water, and let it sit for like 2 hours. If you want to stretch it, let it sit for 24 hours, and then come back and look at it. If the hair is just sitting on top of the water, that means you have low porosity hair. If it's in the middle, you have medium porosity hair. If it sinks to the bottom, then you have high porosity hair. So that's just an easy way to find your hair porosity. However, there is a possibility for your hair to change from high porosity to low porosity depending on how you treat your hair. Things like coloring your hair and using a lot of heat can change your hair porosity from low to high porosity. That is why when people bleach their hair or color their hair, they have to increase the rate at which they do their hair. So it just means that these things can change. So if you do anything drastic to your hair, you might want to keep up with the porosity and know whether the porosity has changed, so you can know the right thing to give to your hair. That's all about hair porosity, and I hope that you've learned something from this. It's very important to know your hair porosity so that you can give your hair the right thing that it needs, so that you can explain certain things that are happening to your hair. So in my next video, I'll be talking about hair width and hair density. And don't forget to like and share this video with your friends and anybody that this video might be useful to. And until my next video, stay blessed and beautiful always. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.